You have to move utility corridors. You have to buy land for people that do not want to give up that land. We're talking maybe $2 billion. I was told we could get the money out of El Paso County. El Paso County is just as broke as we are. That will not work. I have a proposal, hopefully it will be in the paper in a few days, on a compromise. I work for solutions, not just talk. One of these compromises, if you remember, before we built Pueblo Dam, there was a flood control dam upstream of the current dam. This was a flow-through structure. The water was never stopped and held in back. It never interfered with junior water rights, which is part of the problem with building a dam on the Fountain Creek. Whose water rights are we taking? Another reason the big dam won't work, there's not enough water going down there to fill it. Trinidad Lake State Park was built without buying proper water rights. As a result, Trinidad Dam has never been filled. You have to have the water rights. If you look at the fountain in the non-flood stage, there's not enough water to build any kind of a big reservoir. I've been working on the issue since 2006. I have a compromise plan that hopefully is in the paper soon. Read it, see what you think.
Sal?
Thank you. I think every option has to be considered. As an example of compromise, in 2009 as a state representative, I worked with Republican state Representative Marcia Looper, Gary Barber, who is from El Paso Water, Senator Tapia, and we put together the Fountain Creek Watershed District, the very district where you now serve on the advisory panel. We were able to get it done with a unanimous vote in the legislature with Democrats and Republicans, with El Paso, with Pueblo all coming together. I've got a history of compromise and working in a collaborative fashion and working on important water issues to Pueblo, and I'm going to continue to do that in the next 4 years as county commissioner.
Okay, Tom? Good. Okay. Tom, you'll answer this question first. Do you think the county needs a county manager? Why or why not?
Well, I believe we used to have a county manager. Whether he was worthless or good is up to the people that fired him. We no longer have a county manager. And what would exactly be the duties of a county manager? Tell the county commissioners what to do or do the business of the county commissioner? I think it's all based upon how his job description is stated. Don't know what it would be, having not been a county commissioner.
Okay.
Most of the counties in Colorado, a vast majority, I'd guess over 90%, have a county manager. The county manager deals with a lot of administrative work, with day-to-day oversight of staff and personnel, and can give a unified, singular voice to staff. You know, the thing that's different about being a county commissioner that I've learned versus being a legislator, in the legislature you just make policy. You do that as a county commissioner, but in addition to that, there's a lot of day-to-day personnel issues, and a lot of personnel go from county commissioner to county commissioner trying to get the answer they want. It's the system that's in place. It's not the most efficient use of government. We have to find savings, I think, in order to create a county manager, but someone who can be the day-to-day boss of the employees of the county would certainly streamline and make the county government more efficient.
Well, once again, I would say if we have a manager, he's going to be told by which county commissioner how he's supposed to manage. If you say earlier, all three of you are Democrats, and yet you can't agree on a lot of things, how is the county manager going to know how to manage?
Steve?
Okay, Sal?
Well, you know, the way I would envision it is the county manager gets direction from two of the three, and then they give a unified direction to staff or employees. instead of staff and employees going around until they get two of the three of us to agree with their position. I just think it'd be a far more efficient way of governing.
Okay, Sally, you'll handle the next question first. Do you see any other ways that you can consolidate city and county services to reduce costs to the taxpayers?
Oh, I think there's a long list of ways that we can consolidate services. It seems inefficient that we have two fleet departments, two public works departments, that we have duplication of IT. So many of these services can be better done in a more efficient manner if we consolidate some of these services. Certainly, this takes a collaborative and cooperative approach. It takes sitting down with city councilors and figuring out what we can agree on. And also on a number of the programs outside of the structure of government that both governments support, whether it's the Riverwalk or the health department or the zoo. There's a long list of things where both governments provide financial support and backing. It might make sense for us to streamline it and have one government provide services for some of these functions and the other government provide for others.
Okay.
I think we actually agree about 100% on that answer.
Okay. Well,
I love it when we get along.
Me too.
well, then we can move on to another question. Tom, you'll answer this one first. It's sort of an odd deal that you have elected officials running their departments, and yet the county commissioners control the budgets. And it seems like it's always a point of contention at budget time. Do you have any suggestions on how to improve that budget process?
Well, I think part of what you're addressing is the fact that Sheriff Taylor, district attorney, have been given their budgets by the county commissioners. Within their own budgets, they want to hire and fire and do what they want to do. The county commissioners feel that the sheriff and the DA can't do that. They want to control what goes on within a budget that has already been passed for the sheriff and for the district attorney. I don't see why, if once the county commissioners have okayed the budget for these departments and others within county government, why they should interfere as long as they do not go over their budgets.
Sal?
Thanks. And I think Tom hit on the crux of the issue is last year, people went over their budgets. One of them was completely understandable. We had a recall election that we didn't budget for. And we decided that we needed to put a mechanism in place to ensure that people didn't go over their budgets. The fact of the matter is we simply can't stop paying people's salaries in departments in December if their boss, who's an elected official, overspent their budget. What we did this year was we asked all county government departments, including elected officials, to find salary savings when there's turnover, see if we can find attrition, and also if we can keep some of the positions open for a longer period of time to find savings. We actually budgeted, and it was in all of the elected officials' budgets, $2.7 million in savings in salary savings, and that's actually just a small fraction of the turnover that we see every year. And it's actually worked pretty successfully. Halfway through the year, we've seen over $1 million in salary savings. But we're continuing to try to keep a tight ship. We've asked all departments, including electeds and non-elected departments to present a budget that's 5% smaller next year. We've gone after growing our economy. The success we've seen with Southwest Chief or with the construction on I-25, the jobs that are going to be created and the additional wealth brought into Pueblo will help grow our coffers. And so we're working on this issue every single day, and I do absolutely respect the concerns of the elected officials, but the bottom line is we're the ones who have to balance the budget.
As I said before, as long as the different departments do not go over their budget and they spend their money wisely, these are men, if they're picked and elected responsible persons, it's their budget. Why interfere with it?
Sal?
I think we have the same goal, absolutely.
Okay. We're down to our last question, and Sal, you'll handle it first. It would ultimately be up to county voters, but what would be your position on extending the half-cent sales tax that the city charges to the county to be used for economic development?
You know, I haven't thought of that before. I certainly support the half-cent sales tax. I think we need economic development of all forms and all methods, but we also have to look at the model. We have to see if what we're doing works. As far as economic development, I think we have to help grow our entrepreneurs. We have to do more than trying to simply bait companies to move here. We have to support our small businesses. I'm proud of what we've done in Pueblo County with creating an economic development department to work on economic gardening and GIS to help provide the same services to small businesses that a lot of large Fortune 500 companies have. We have to work on marketing and branding our community. I'm proud that I helped recruit an international travel show to film an episode here in Pueblo. You know, if we can do all of these things by expanding the half-cent sales tax countywide, then I think it's a good thing, but I'm not prepared on 2 minutes of thinking about it, whether or not it's the right thing right now.
The use that the half-cent sales tax was set up for was to get new businesses to come to town. There's been discussion that it should be used to help those businesses that are already here. I think we should leave it as it is. What we need to do to get more businesses here and to help those businesses here is figure out a way to lower a lot of the regulations that the small businesses have to be faced with. We need to lower the taxes. If small business can't make it in our community, nobody benefits. We need to help the small business guy by lowering taxes, lowering regulations. I plan on being elected to county commissioner and going to different departments like the builder's trade, the electricians, say, what are the regulations that make it hard for you to do business? As a dentist, a simple example, I get concentrated mouthwash sent to my office. I have to pay a hazardous waste or a hazardous material fee because it's mouthwash and it has alcohol in it. That's a ridiculous regulation that I have to do. And I'm sure all the small businesses in the community are faced with the same thing. We need fewer regulations, lower taxes, more businesses will come here, more businesses will pay more taxes. We make more tax money in the community by helping the small business, not by saying, I just can't wait to tax you.
Sal?
Other than the marijuana tax that we passed, we haven't been proposing any new taxes for our community. That's all I have.
Okay. Tom, any other comments?